Okay. We are live on Facebook. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Everybody, good evening. I'm going to keep everybody on mute. So, but you can unmute yourself. And if you have a question, you're always welcome to unmute yourself and ask anything you want to ask, as long as it's about the class. Don't forget you were on Facebook. So we don't want to get too much off the class. After the class, we could stay on the class as long as possible, as long as you want, and we could ask any questions and continue on learning all night. Okay, my friends, I hope you have the PDF file or the book. So the JLI gave me the PDF file for only this class, the first class. The following classes, you need the book to be able to follow within the class. This is the JLI class, so you have to have the book. I mean, I'll do my best if you don't have a book to be as clear as possible, but the best thing would be if you can get a book and you can order it by through the office. I think it's only $20, and you get the book for the entire book of Bereshis. So you'll have all the text that they want you should have that is going to bring out this class. I want to thank again JLI always for putting together the class. I'm going to myself add to this class a lot because there's a lot to talk about.
Can I ask a question about the book, please? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to order the book. So now I could call the office and give them a credit card?
Correct, yes.
What time is the office open?
My daughter-in-law is there. So leave a message. If she doesn't answer, leave a message and she'll get back to you. 487-2934.
Rabbi,
say again.
487-2934.
487-2934. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rabbi, I can't pick up the book because we're leaving on Thursday. Is there a way that it can be mailed?
Yeah, we're mailing the book.
Are you mailing the book?
We're mailing the book.
Oh,
the book
okay.
is being mailed straight to you.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay? The book is being mailed. Nobody's picking up any books. Everybody's getting it by Amazon, actually. We're ordering it from Amazon. JLI put it on Amazon. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another year of learning Torah together. There's nothing better than to learn together simple Chumash and Nashi, and to go through the Torah. And that's why we learn the Torah every year. We start over and again every year the Parsha of the week. And we go through the whole year, and we start over the next year again, and we start over the next year again until Mashiach comes. So, and after Mashiach comes too. So there's nothing better than to start over Bereshis. We're going all the way back to Genesis, all the way back to the beginning. And Bereshis, in the beginning. And this Shabbos is actually called Shabbos Bereshis. And there's a very famous statement of the Baditchev, of Levitz Baditchev, he said, "Vi mishteltzach Shabbos Bereshis, azoi geitis of Hagan Tziyar." The way you start the year, Shabbos Bereshis, that's the way it goes the whole year. So it's beautiful, right after Yontiv. I'm very happy that all you come on today on Zoom, and we're all starting Shabbos Bereshis together. And I hope that we will learn together every Tuesday night. We'll go through the entire Torah together, and we'll learn something from the Parsha. All these classes are self-understood based on the Rebbe's teaching of the Parsha. So it's based on the Rebbe's teaching on Chassidus, Kabbalah, and I hope that you will, and therefore you have to come out of it learning something out of the Parsha. So let us start off. In the beginning, in your text, you have it's text Genesis 1:3. I want to start off from the beginning. If you have a Chumash, that's the best. Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. V'haaretz hoisa soyu v'vayu. And the world and the land was empty, void. V'choshech Now I want that when we listen to the words, when you read a parsha, read a pasuk, you need to get the words, because choshech, you just want to say that there's choshech already. There's the word choshech already in the verse. Choshech, choshech. What's choshech? Choshech is darkness. The choshech. Okay. That means there's a creation. I'm just going to say there's a creation of choshech. Al pnei tohim, v'ruach elikim marachefes al pnei hamayim, and the Spirit of God was on the face of the water. You should have already a lot of questions. Let's go on. Okay, this is the verse that they are concentrated on. Vayom elikim, and God said, Yehi oid. The Eibishter said, God said, let there be light. Vayehi oid, and there was light. That's the pasuk, the third pasuk. Vayom elikim yi oid, vayehi oid. Pasuk number 4. Vayar elikim es oid, and the Eibishter saw this light. He saw this light. It's beautiful. It's good. Vayam delakin, so the Eibishter divided bein ha'od u bein ha'choshech. He divided between od and choshech, between light and darkness. And what did he do? Vayik elikim la'or yom, v'la'choshech kora laila. And the Eibishter called the Or light day, and to darkness he called the night. Vayerev vayivoke yom echad. It was evening, it was morning, it was day 1. That's the first day of creation. My friends, the whole creation, from the first pasuk until the end of the 6th day, is 31 verses. 31 verses for the entire creation, that until today we are trying to figure out how God created the world. And we sent up the Hubble, we sent here, we're still trying to figure out this life on Mars. We are still trying to figure out the world, how the world was created, and God gives away 31 verses for the whole A to Z. 31 verses he has. That's it. Got 31 verses for the ganze Maaseh. It's unbelievable. 31 verses for the entire creation of the world. Couldn't give away some more detail. Why is there so little detail in this whole subject in general? But really the question is even bigger, because what is the creation of Or? That's really the question. And God created, that's in your text number 1. Vayom elikim yi Or, and God said, let there be light. Vayehi Or, and there was light. What was that light? What was that light? What was that light? What do you need light for? What is the purpose of light? Purpose of light, well, we know, is to be able to see. That's what you make light for. But that's happened actually on the 3rd day of creation, when God created the sun and the moon. The 4th day of creation, I'm sorry. The 4th day of creation, when God created the sun and the moon. And then he had light of the day, and the moon was at night. So what is the creation of light? What is the creation of this light in this verse? And God said, let there be light, and there was light. What was that light? What is the purpose of light? Of this light? What is the meaning of this light? What is this light? This is a major question, and there's a lot of commentary just on the first few verses, the first 5 verses of the Torah that I mentioned. Because in the verse of Vayom Elokim Yi Or, and God said, let there be light, Vayihi Or. You look throughout the other creation, the other days of creation, it says, Vayihi Chen. And so it was. God said, let the earth give out vegetation, and so it was. Doesn't say that over here. It says, Vayihi Or. God said, let there be light, and there was light. Yeah. So to understand this, what is the light that the Torah is talking about? What is the meaning of this light? So we all know. Actually, it's brought down. It's I don't know. Might be a feeble thing, but abracadabra. You know what abracadabra means? Abracadabra. When the person wanted to make a magic show, abracadabra could do. Those who say abracadabra is 2 Aramaic words. Abra, kadabra, which means abra is a Hebrew word, is an Aramaic word for abra. He created, kadabra, like he spoke. Abracadabra. The Eibishter spoke and it was created. Abra, that's an Aramaic word. Abra, he spoke, kadabra. Abra, he created, kadabra, like he spoke. Which is also an amazing concept in Torah that we have in ethics of our fathers. Asadim Amaris Nivra Ha'olam. The Eibishter created the world with 10 utterances. Vayom Elokim, and God said, Yehi Or. And God said, let there be light. Vayihi Or. And there was light. So let's go to text number 2. We're going to get to it. We'll go to it. So we have expression. If you want he wants to give an analogy or an understanding of what's the meaning of, in general, the meaning of light. What was the importance of the sun? Let's say the sun, the light of the sun. So we have it in expression, a statement in the Torah itself. When Moshe Rabbeinu wants to talk about a certain part of Eretz Yisrael, about the tribe of Yosef, he tells them, and with the sweetness of produce of the sun, and with the sweetness of the moon. So Rashi says, text number 2b, that Rashi says, and this was the sweetness of the produce of the sun, for Joslan was exposed to the sun, which is sweetened with sweetness of fruit. So sun, light, oil. In essence, what is the meaning of oil? Oil needs to shine on something. Oil means something, it shines on something. You don't need oil if you need oil when it's dark. You don't need oil in a light place. Oil is there to shine on something. It's a ray. That's why in Kabbalah you have oil and ma'or. The sun is the ma'or, the luminary. The oil is the ray that shines from the sun. So oil is the concept of something that shines upon something. So what did the Eibishter create? By he oil, the Eibishter created a light that shines upon something. What did the Eibishter create in the first day of light that shines upon what? What is the purpose of this light? It's not the light of the sun, because that was created on the 4th day. So what was the light that God created on the first day? So therefore in Torah, you have Pshat, Remesh, Drush, Soid. You have the simple teaching, and it's a Rashi. Rashi brings down the Gemara. Right in text number 4, you have the Gemara. The Eibishter created a light, the Talmud says, with the light that the Holy One, blessed to be, created on the first day, a person will be able to see, peer from one end of the world to the other. The Eibishter created a light that you can see. That's light. The Eibush created it's like a nevuah, like a prophecy. The Eibush created a light that with this light, with this capability of this oil, you'll be able to see from the beginning of the world to the end of the world. This is the light. This is the light. This is the simple meaning of the word of the creation of light. So where is that light? The Gonza, he hid it. He hid the light. He created the light and he hid the light. Lemi Gonza, and to who did he hide the light for? The tzaddikim lasid lavei. He hid this light for the righteous in the time to come. Either whether in Gan Eden, some people try to lost love in Gan Eden, in paradise, or in Mashiach comes. These will all be able to see from the beginning of time till the end of time. That's Rashi. It's what's fascinating about this interpretation is that Rashi translates this for a 5-year-old child. He says this is the meaning of the simple Pshuta Shemikra. This is the meaning of the simple verse. A 5-year-old child, you can explain him this. You can explain to him. This is the meaning of the verse. When the pasuk says, "Vayala Tov," the Eibush saw this light was good. It was so good, he put it away. And that's why it says, Vayavdil Elokim ben ha'or ben ha'choshech. He put it away, Vayavdil. He separated it. He hid it. This world is a dark world. It's a hidden world. That's why it's dark. Not dark because it's the concept of darkness because it's night. There's no sun yet over here. It's dark because it's darkness of Galus. It's dark because it's darkness from the hiddenness of God. What is the hiddenness of God? This oil. This oil is hidden from the world. And that now what's fascinating is this not Kabbalah. This is Gemara. This is Rashi. You open up the pasuk in the Chumash. Rashi says this. It's not a Maimon Chassidus. So this is a Rashi in Chumash. So every child, I learned this Rashi when I was in yeshiva, and I learned Chumash and Rashi. This is the way I learned the pasuk, right? When I started learning Chumash and Rashi. Eibishter created something for a future time, something for a certain VIPs. Created something for the VIPs, Tzaddikim, for the VIPs. In essence, maybe God who wanted the beginning it should be for the entire world, saw that the world was not ready for it, so he put it away. So this is a fascinating answer, simple answer of Rashi. There's many commentaries on this, because it says twice oil. It says, Vayemer Elokim yi oil, vayehi oil. As I said before, in the other 7 days, it doesn't say, and there was light. Vayehi chen. Or this is what happened. Vayehi oil, 2 lights. There's a light and there's a light. There's 2 different lights. The word has the same numerical value as the word raz, which is hidden. Raz is hidden. Raz is deraisa, the hidden aspects of the Torah. Torah is called That's why the Torah is called Torah is called light. Because you can learn the pasuk and you don't see the light. And then you can learn the pasuk and you can try to find the You can try to find the light in the Torah. So that's why the Torah, it says you started off the first Rashi. It's going a little backwards. You start off the first Rashi. Rashi says, why did the Torah start off with Bereshis, with a Beis? Bereshis, Bishvil HaTorah, or Bishvil Yisrael. The Torah the world was created for two things that are called the Reshis, two things that are called beginnings, and that is the Torah, and that is a Jew. Both of these things out of creation have within it something that is physical and something that is spiritual. Has within it the oil that you can see, the body, the chumash, the pasuk, and it has within it the neshama, and it has within it the soul. Torah should be, it's called Niglish of the Torah. The revealed part of Torah is like the body, and the shmos of the Torah, and they have the soul of the Torah, which is Chassidus, Kabbalah. You have the body of a person, and you have his neshama, the oil. The Torah is called oil, and every Jewish person's neshama is what is neshama called? Ki Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. Ner Hashem, the candle of God, oil. Your neshama, my neshama, your neshama is also called oil. Is also called light. The Eibishter created on the first day of creation two entities. Bereshis bara kimas shamayim v'sa'aretz. The Eibishter created on the first day of creation. The whole purpose of creation, physical world, shamayim v'aretz, physicality, and then he created oil. And then he brought, actually, he oil, and there was light. Because actually the Shama, the light was there before the physicality. So let's go a little further. So the question is, why would the Eibishter create something? Why would the Eibishter create something and put it away or hide it? What would be the purpose of doing that? Why would there be a purpose in creating something that you're going to hide? Because in essence, that's the meaning of the whole creation. The Eibishter created something and he hid it. If in my next interpretation, the Eibishter created a body and he hid the soul. The Eibishter created the world with light and he hid the light. So why would he do that for? What was the point? What was the point of doing that? What was the kavanah in doing it that kind of a way? When the Eibishter created an animal. When he created a tree, he created a tree. When he created water, he created water. When he created the heavens, he created the heavens. He didn't create everything in a duality, in a double entity. Why would God create in the first day of creation the aspect of this Oir Havaya, this light of God, and then hide it? Why would be the purpose in that? What's the agenda? The Eibush didn't create anything for nothing. Created everything for a purpose. So there was seemingly no purpose in the creation of the first day, for the first day, because there was no tzaddikim, there was no human beings around. So what was the purpose? You know, there are those who argue, it says God created light in the first day, and then he hid it. When did he hide it? When did he actually hide this light? And like anything in Torah, there's a machlekes, the argument to when he hid this light, whether he hid it right away, or some say he hid it when he sent Adam and Eve out of Gan Eden. So it was there for 7 until they sinned. When they sinned, the light was taken away. Because Adam till Adam sinned, there was no sin in the world. So everybody was righteous. Everything was righteous. Why you need to hide it for? When they sinned, that's when he sent it away. That's when he hid it. And that's why we make a bracha every Friday, every Motzei Shabbat, we make a bracha on fire, because you lost the oil. You have to have more physical light because you lost the spiritual light. And we have to make Beirim Samim because we're losing that neshama. That when you lose this, when you don't have the light, then we lose neshama. We need to revive the soul. And we smell Samim to remind us one of the senses of the soul, one of the senses of our neshama. So here, Chassidus, to answer this question, Chassidus gives a very basic principle, and that is its expression, not tchilasam b'seifan. The beginning is always wedged in the end. Beginning with the end in mind. It's an expression, the beginning with the end in mind. And why would God make something that the beginning is wedged in the end? And in this aspect, I'm going to try to bring it out as best I can. In this concept, the Rebbe explains the whole reason why the first day of creation is there, and why the first day of creation is really the beginning of the whole Torah and gives us the entire purpose of the Torah, and the entire purpose of our journey in Yiddishkeit. I start off a question with why did the Torah give so little time to creation of the world? Why did the Torah give more time to the creation? And our sages answer, Chassidus explains, is because the Torah is not there to tell you about the creation. The Torah is here to tell you about the purpose of creation. To know how God created the world, my thought is not your thought. You're never get able to figure out the ultimate concept of creation. It's God's the creator. And to understand God's creation, you have to understand the creator. But the Eibishter wanted to bring out the purpose of creation. When a person has the purpose of creation, then it answers all his questions in life. Because if a person goes out and he tries to do a job, but he doesn't know the purpose of what the job is, then he loses his whole desire in fulfilling this job. The Eibishter created a human that the purpose of what he's doing is as important as what he's doing. And therefore, the Eibishter God wanted that not the beginning should be wedged in the end. That means the Eibishter wanted to tell a Yid, each and every one of us, what was the purpose in creation? And if you would understand the purpose of creation, you're not going to be able to see it till the end product. But if you will understand what the purpose is, then you will have an excitement in being part of the job. The expression, Pirkei Avos, Lo yalecha amlacha ligmer, aval I ata yochel lipotem mimenu. It's not your obligation to finish the job, but you cannot give up the job. Why? Because if we understand the purpose in the job, then we understand what we're doing, and we understand what God wanted in this whole creation. And what did God want in my creation? What am I doing in this world? Right? Most of us struggle with life because we ask the question, what are we doing here? What am I doing here? Somebody can do a better job. So what am I doing over here? The Rebbe says the first pasuk gives each and every one of us the purpose of what we are doing here and why we are going to read this entire book and why the entire Chumash and everything that's in it is important to us. And not only, my friends, you'll soon see, not only the first day of creation, but all the other days of creation, all connected to that first day of creation. And nothing's important that God created what God created on each day. It's that simple. I mean, the Abishter created all the animals in one vayom. You can imagine all the species, the thousands and millions of different species that are in the world. He created in one utterance. Boom. The Abishter made the oceans in one utterance. Said one statement. Boom. The Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Mediterranean. Boom. Was all there. Every tree, every vegetation, one verse. The heart said, let there be all the. Imagine, can you understand the thought process that God had in how many vegetation, flowers, and all different kinds of trees and flowers that are in the world? But the Abish, that was his machshava. And in his thought, he said, and everything was there. Try to figure that out. You can't figure it out. It'll be very difficult to figure it out because it happened in a moment. Because that's the Abish, he's the creator. And so go figure that out. That's not what the Torah wants you to know. The Torah wants you to know, why did God create all these things? Why are there trees? Why are there animals? Why are there humans? Why are there a heaven and there's an earth? Why? What's the purpose in it? And if you'll understand the purpose, you'll understand your journey, each and every one of our journeys. So the Medrash, he brings a Medrash, text number 4. He says, in the way of the world, an earthly king who builds a castle does not do so from his own knowledge, but rather from the knowledge of an architect. The architect does not build it from his own knowledge, but rather from the scrolls and books to know how to make rooms and doorways. So too God gazed into the Torah and he created the world. Now that's a very interesting medrash, because from this medrash, famous medrash, we all know that the Torah was created before the world. If the Torah was written in essence in heaven before the world, for the creation of the world. Because if the Torah is the architectural blueprint of the world, then the Torah was there before. Self-understood. The Torah that was there before was there in a more spiritual dimension. And then Moshe brought it down into a physical dimension. Why does the Medrash want to say? That the Eibishter looked into 31 verses. 31 verses. That's the creation of the world. The creation of the world takes God 31 verses. And not even that. A lot of that says, and there was morning and evening, etc. You can bring it down to even 6-7 verses. The entire creation of the world, this is the architectural creation. The Eibishter looked into the Torah, created the world. Why would you call this book an architect? Because self-understood that every word in this thing has very deep meanings. Self-understood. Every word in this 31 verses have extreme deep comprehensions. You have to be the architect to understand what is the deep meanings of the verse. You have to know the Torah to be able to see the architectural the makeup of the world in these 31 verses. That's why you need a little chassidus, a little Kabbalah, because we could all be architects if we be able to understand architectural paper. Right? We just build a building. You can't imagine how many architectural papers there are on it, and I still don't know. I learned a lot, but I still don't know here for the things, all the things that are written over there, all the numbers and things. You got to be an architect. You got to be an engineer to understand all those issues. But if you learned it and you involved yourself in it, like people that are involved in building buildings, and they get involved, even though they're not architects, they slowly learn. They slowly learn the meanings of all these all these marks and all these numbers. It's very detailed. So therefore, we say it in our daven. Look at text number 5. Come, let us welcome the Shabbos, for it's a source of blessings from the beginning. From the foretime it was chosen, last in creation, first in God's thought. That means, Torah doesn't necessarily tell you say it every Friday night, this prayer. That means really the whole world was created for Shabbos. That's what we say in our prayer. The whole world, the whole 6 days. What was the thought of God? If you really don't want to know, you want to go to the architect, and you really want to know the thought of God, that is the thought of God. The thought of God is the Shabbos. That's why he created the entire 6 days of creation. That is the beginning is wedged in the end. That's the meaning in simple, that the beginning is wedged in the end. The purpose of creation, we say it every Friday night, is the Shabbos. 6 days of work that God did is the Shabbos. That's why it should be like that in our lives. Our 6 days should be all work for the day of Shabbos. It's all what's going to be on the day of Shabbos. How will the Shabbos look? That's the way I need to focus my week. The Eibishter created the entire world for one thing. Oil. Oil. Light. Not light from your light bulb. Oil Havaya. Light of God. The Eibishter created, God created the entire world for one purpose. And that is the Oir Hashem. That's the first day of creation, my friends. And that's why it says the Eibishter saw it was good. God understood that that is the true purpose in the whole creation of the world, is that there will be light. That was the Eibishter's thought. That's why nothing was created on that day besides oil. But the world needs to come to that kind of situation. And that's why we go to the second day, which is Gevura. That's why in Chassidus, the world was created with chesed. The first day is chesed, kindness. Toiv. The Eibishter created light for oil. What does oil want to do? Oil wants to give. Like chesed wants to give. Wants to totally give. And that's why it says Olam Chesed Yibana. The entire world was built on oil. The entire world was built on chesed, on kindness, unbridled kindness. A kindness that has no strings, a kindness that is unlimited, that is so giving, you cannot imagine such an aspect of chesed, Ma'akadosh Baruch Hu. Chesed from the Eibishter. But the Eibishter said that the world will take this chesed and destroy it. The world will take this oil and they'll destroy it. So therefore, the next day, Monday, it wasn't called Monday, Yom Sheni, was Gevura, was severity. And that's where God hid the world, hid the light. That's the second day. And that's, if you look in the Torah, the second day does not say Oir, Toiv. It doesn't say Toiv. It doesn't mention that God said it was good. And then we come to the third day, where God created the earth. And there it says double Toiv. On the third day, it says double Tov. That's why Tuesday is a good day. Tuesday is Pamayim Ki Tov, today. Tov. Tov LaShamayim, Tov LaBrias. Why? Because God knew that the creation of the world, the earth, man's going to be created from the earth. And man will develop this oil. Adam will develop this oil and slowly bring out the oil Havaya, the oil of God. And that's why it'll be Tov LaShamayim, it'll be good for heavens, but Tov LaAretz, it'll be good for the earth. So Chassidus says, every time that it says in the next 3 days, Tov, it's not talking about the thing, it's talking about the oil. It's talking about the light that will come from it. The Abish created the trees. He saw it was good. He saw the oil was good. The humans will develop trees. They'll use it out for Kedusha. They'll use it out for holy things. They'll make blessings on the fruit. He saw vegetation. He saw Tov. He saw the light. And that's why the ultimate day is Yom HaShishi, is the 6th day when God ultimately created Adam and Chava, created Adam and Eve. And there it says Yom HaShishi, the 6th day. God underlines this day is the most precious day, the day of creation of Adam and Chava, first man, which represents this Tov Ma'od. That's why in the 6th day it says not only Tov, it says Tov Ma'od. It was very good. Because God knew that even though it might be a long journey for this earth to be revealed, it's going to be a long journey. We're still in the journey, my friends. But ultimately, man will do it. Ultimately, nobody else is going to do it but man. I'm not talking about man as woman. Man and women will do it. Humans will do it because they're going to do their avodah. They're going to ultimately transform this oil. They're ultimately going to reveal this oil. They're going to reveal this light. That's why the Gemara says, in text number 6, the Gemara says, come and let us calculate the count of the world. Think about it. Gemara says to every human being, think about it. Cheshbon shalaylam. Make a cheshbon. Make an account of what am I doing over here? Hefsid mitzvah keneged schara, the financial loss incurring by fulfillment of a mitzvah in contrast to its reward. And the reward for committing a transgression, meaning the pleasure and gain received in contrast to the loss it entails. What is the gain and what's the loss, my friend? What is the gain? You say, I bought an Essig, it cost me $250. So I got the loss. I just got I'm $250. I'm $250 less in my account. But it's a gain. You lost $250, yeah. You gave out $250. It emptied out your account, maybe. But what is the gain? I don't know. What's the gain? What was the gain? I shook the lullaby. What's the gain? No, the gain is the oil. The gain is the light. You gained bringing light into the world. That's the gain. Oh, but I don't see the light. Correct. You don't see the light. Because David hid the light. It's not possible to see. So God hid the light. But that is the purpose. The purpose is not the $250 asset. The purpose is the light, is the oil. Is the oil Hashem that the Abish created in the first day of creation. That's the purpose. When did this whole thing go south, so to say? When did this whole thing go south? This whole thing went south when they did the chet, when they did the first sin. They brought choshech. They took away this oil. It took away the soul. And that is the pleasure gained in contrast to the loss it entails. They also had to realize, oh, they got a pleasure. They saw it was good. It was good. It was just maybe even a spiritual pleasure. But what was the loss? The loss was the Ur. The loss was the Ur. They were thrown out of Gan Eden. They were thrown out of Gan Eden. They were put into a dark world. They were put into a hidden world. Not a dark world physically, because the sun was there. A dark world spiritually. And that was the loss. And that's what the Mishnah. So in essence, the Mishnah is always telling us, my friends, evaluate. Make a cheshbon. Make an evaluation. If you know your purpose in life is Ur, then that has to be the ultimate gain. That has to be the ultimate gain. What is my ultimate gain? You have to, each and every one of us, and I really don't know. I can give you, to explain to you, each and every one of us, what is your Ur? What is your Ur? Everybody needs to think about it for a second. What is your toiv, your Ur that the Eibishter created on the first day of creation? What is your Ur? So as a Rav, I could say, why Ur is to teach Torah. It's very easy for me to do that. But every person needs to find their Ur, their light, their purpose. And once they find that purpose, then they will have a much easier time in the rest of the 6 days of creation.
Rabbi,
Yes.
how do you find your light? How do you know?
That's by learning Torah. Torah, I started off. The Torah and the Yid, the Neshama and the Torah is your light. Is your light. The Torah is called light, and your Neshama is called light. We need to both find our light in the Torah. And that goes to learning Torah, learning even Pasha Chumash and Rashi. You're going to get a different understanding. If the Frierdiker Rebbe, I've said this many times. Frierdiker Rebbe said every person should learn Tachitas every day. He should learn the portion of the week divided into seven parts, and you should learn every day. Connect. Try to find something in the portion that's connected to that day.
You said though your light is that you're a teacher, that
Correct.
you teach Torah.
Teach
That
Torah.
is your
That's
personal
my light. To me, it's easier to find that, and that's my light. Yes, that is. I could say that's my light.
So each one of us has a specific purpose, a unique.
You need 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to give every person their thing, but
Right.
everybody needs to look into themselves and to feel what is their oil, what is your light, what is your what is your true essence, what is your true what do you think your purpose is?
Right. How can you bring out the light? How
Can you bring out your light? Correct. As I said, the neshama is called the light. The Torah is called the light. We need to find that. We need to learn Torah and find every day something that gives us a light. And if the Frierdiker Rebbe and the Rebbe emphasized it even more, said that every Jew can find, if he learns Chumash and Rashi every day, he can find something in there that's going to give him something to give him that light of the day. Then that's true. But you can't expect to have it in easy. It takes something to you have to work on it to find out that light. But it's there.
Okay, thank you.
So in essence, when the Eibishter hid the light, it's not that he hid the light and the light's not there. He hid the light. The light is there. The purpose has never changed. Not that the Eibishter hid the light because self-understood God wanted that there should be particular avodah. For example, let's say myself, I had an imagination of building a building. I did. I had an imagination. What's going to be with this building? I went to the architect. The architect built the building according to my imagination, right? And we put on paper the imagination of this building. Ultimately, it took us a long time to build the building. It took us a couple of years to build the building. The imagination never went away. When you got involved in the day-to-day building of the building, you were not involved with your imagination per se every day. But the imagination was always there. It was always there. It's just not revealed every single day. You the imagination of the building every single day. You're involved now with putting the bricks in the floor. You're involved now with the certain particulars of the building, right? Because a lot of particulars in the building, the walls and the floors and the doors. Now you're getting into the particulars of the walls, and that's where everything comes into. That's where everybody goes crazy into the walls and the doors, and who's going to put the walls up, and this guy quit, and that guy didn't, and this is not doing a good job. That guy, that's where you go meshuggah. It takes years. But the imagination never left. The beauty is that after you finish the thing, it mamish looks like your imagination. Now, whatever you imagine, wow, it came into a reality. The thought that I had, and I sat down with the architect and I said, "This is what I think I would like to see." Wow, even though we got involved with so many details and so many headaches and so many issues, but the imagination never ever changed, right? So you can imagine if the headaches, you suddenly have headaches and you quit the job. You quit the job, you lose your imagination. You lose your original. The original was to do the job, to build the building. That was the original thing. You thought it's gonna come easy. Nothing comes easy. But never lose your original imagination, the original purpose. So you have to have a purpose. Yidden have to have a general purpose, and every Yid has to have a particular purpose. The Rebbe says the particular purpose is the first day of creation. Vayihi Or. There was once a great, I think it was with the Baditchev, I'm not going to say 100% sure, who was in a museum, and he was looking at the Rembrandt, a piece of Rembrandt art, and he says, "That's the pasuk Vayihi Or." That is, look at, I see the oil in this picture. He knew how to bring out his talent. He knew how to do oil. He took his talent, and he was a light. I went to the Louvre. I looked at the pictures. But you have to have an eye to be able to see the talent. I was on YouTube a couple of days ago. I'm not YouTube, on Facebook. Somebody put on there. They were selling art in Christie's in New York. $38 million. Went for $38 million. I wouldn't pay $38. It was sold this week. $38 million. I'm looking at this picture. I'm saying, why would anybody pay $50? $38 million. I don't know. So you have to, because I know art. Don't send me to Christie's because I don't know art. So you got the wrong guy. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to see the art. You have to be able to be trained to be able. But the Eibishter says every single one of us has that capability. So let's go text number 7. The Alter Rebbe says text number 7. The ultimate purpose of creation is this lowest world, in such that his blessed will, that he shall have a satisfaction when the ungodly perception is subdued and the darkness is turned to light, so that the divine light, the oil, shall shine forth in the place of darkness and ungodliness throughout the world with more intensity, and its effulgence is in the higher worlds. So therefore, the Rebbe says, text number 8, we're running out of time. This explains why light was created on the first day, before any other creation. This is the Rebbe, text number 8. It's because light is the purpose with which God prefaced the creation of the worlds with his first utterance, let there be light. It means that everything that is about to be created, the world and all its details, and constitute creation, all of it will be transformed into light. That's the purpose of creation of the first day and every day of creation, and the purpose of the entire purpose of creation. So go to text number 9, and that's where you come to the 6th day of creation. The Eibishter saw everything that he did. And what did he say? V'hinei tov me'od. It was very good. What was so good? What did God see on the 6th day of creation that was so good? Tov me'od. You know what he saw? The Gemara says he saw another oir. You know what that oir he saw? Look at text number 10. He saw the good of Moshe Rabbeinu. At the time when Moshe Rabbeinu was born, it says, the verse says, the entire house was filled with light. As it's written there, and when he saw him, that he was goodly, toiv. It says that Yocheved saw that he was good. The Eibishter saw on the 6th day of creation when he created Adam, he saw right away Moshe Rabbeinu, because he created the world for man and for the one who's going to give the Torah to the world, Moshe Rabbeinu, which was a long time later, a couple 100 years later. But the Eibishter again understood. What a couple 100 years, a couple 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later. The Eibishter understood right away from the first day of creation, the purpose is light, and therefore the 6th day of creation when he created Adam, therefore on the 3rd day of creation when he created the earth, he said Tov, he said 2 times Tov, and then when he created the 6th day of creation, when he created Adam and Eve, he said, wow, Tov ma'od, because he understood that Adam and Eve ultimately, who's going to come out for them ultimately in 2,000 years would come out Moshe Rabbeinu. And there, the Torah uses exact same words, Toiv. And the Gemara says, "What? How did she know he was good? Because Moshe Rabbeinu was a light bulb. The house lit up, and we know Moshe Rabbeinu was a light bulb, not a spiritual light bulb. Somebody said. Now later on, they couldn't see his face. The Gemara says his face shined like the sun. Took 2,000 years for the revelation of Moshe Rabbeinu to ultimately bring down the Torah to the world. Long journey. Very long journey. And it has not finished. The journey is not ended. The journey of the first day of creation is not ended yet. We're still part of the journey. We're still trucking ahead. We're not finished that purpose. And until we're going to finish it, until we finish it, we're not finished. We're not interested in a half job. We're not interested in half of Avodah. We're going to complete this Avodah. And that's the purpose. And everything else that I have in life is all there to complete this purpose. What's the purpose again? Right? That's the purpose. It's a beautiful concept. If we can digest it a little more, what is the meaning of Or? Every person has to really work on that to find what's the meaning of Or. What is his Or? What does it shine like? The Rebbe Rashab said that what is a chassid? A chassid is a lamplighter. He's a lamplighter. So the chassid asked him, "You have to go into the ocean to light a lamp. Does the chassid do this?" He said, "Yes." In a desert, he said, "Yes." You have to go and light the lamp. You have to be a oil. You have to be a light. You get the same expression. You're light to the nations. So all these expressions of light is not the light of day. So therefore, let's try to maybe we'll get this to that, but look in text number 11, which we end off the class, I believe, with text number 11. So the Rebbe says, the purpose of any action, say for example, that of a person can be expressed in two ways. As revealed in the mind and intent of the actor, as a primary and overreaching sense of purpose before the act itself, as its early stages. B, okay, number one is, that's your intent, that's your machshava. Anything you do, you have to have a machshava. What is your intent? That's a problem. Most of us don't accomplish what we want to accomplish because we don't have any purpose. We're doing it half-made. No, there has to be a machshava. What am I trying to accomplish? B, during the act itself, as a person perceives the overall purpose of every specific thing he does, so that they are all in accord to the purpose and their goal. Throughout the duration of the act, the purpose is not being conveyed as openly or to the same extent as before the act. And I gave you the same analogy. So you have the purpose to begin with, then you get involved with the act. Doesn't always reveal the purpose right when you're doing, but you never lose the purpose. Similarly, the supernal purpose of creation, signified by light that was created on the first day, has two levels. The level of light itself, which is mentioned explicitly in the Torah, and God saw the light that it was good. The light itself, was manifest on the first day with the first utterance before every other creation in the world as the ultimate purpose. The Eibishter said, this is the purpose of why I'm creating the world. I created the world that the world should be light with this light, with the light of God. What happened? The Eibishter hid the light. He's the architect. He then went into creation of the particulars of the world. And that's the next day, Gevurah. The next day is Gevurah. Severity. A ray and reflection of that light was conveyed in each successive utterance in creation. That's Gevurah. Then the light was put aside. And now only you didn't always see the purpose in the next days in creation. So in this godly light that enables these creations to align with achieve their purpose, to transform creation to light, of this light and purpose, it said, and God saw it was good, meaning that it was light, but merely an allusion to it that is hidden and not fully revealed as it was in the first day. So in the first day, the light itself was there. That's why, again, on the first day of creation, it says Yom Echad. It was one day. It doesn't say Yom Rishon, the first day. It was one. The first day was one. There was oneness in the world. There was the revelation of that light in the world. When the purpose is there, wow, when you have a purpose, when your purpose is in front of you, there's nothing that can stop you. That's why it says in Kabbalah that the first day of creation was the concept of chesed and kesed. The unlimited chesed and the concept of ratzin, will. The Eibishter's will and his chesed was revealed on the first day of creation. It was so oneness in the creation, there was nothing there but godliness. Then the second day started the separation of the creation, to give the creation its identity. And to be able to do that, the Eibush need to hide his light. So that later the human, the earth, will be able to slowly reveal its light. If God wants to reveal the light, he can do it in a second. But that's not what God wanted. God wanted that humans would reveal the light. And even though it's taking a long time, but the Eibush has patience, Baruch Hashem. God has patience. And he wants that each and every one of us to reveal that light that we have, that he created on the first day, that he gave that spark of light with each and every one of us. He gave us an neshama. So that oil that the Eibush created, God created in the first day of creation, he ultimately gave it into every single one of us, so that we would be able to reveal that light. So that's going back to what the Mishnah said before. Person needs to make a cheshbon, needs to think about this, and to say to himself, what is my purpose? I know that I'm a human being, and I'm going to get involved in too many details, and I'm going to get involved with all with other things that are going to distract me from the purpose. And I won't be able to think about the purpose every day and constantly a whole day. I won't be able to do that because I'm too involved with the sinks and the toilets and the holes and this and that. So but if you have a purpose to begin with, what your agenda is, it doesn't need to be there constantly. It doesn't. It needs to be there in the beginning. So that's why Bereshis is so important in the beginning. It's important to each and every one of us. What is the beginning? That's why our sages say, it all starts off the way you start off your day. Bereshis. What is the beginning of your day? If you start off your day, especially wake up like a lion, you'll have a day like a lion. If you wake up like a I don't want to say another animal, insult another animal. You wake up like a hunt, you're gonna have a huntish day. So you need to wake up like a lion. Come Kari. You need to wake up like a lion. You need to wake up. That's what you say in the morning. I'm going to give thanks to the Eibush. The Eibush gave me back my soul. Why? The Eibush gave me a purpose. I'm going to accomplish the purpose, to bring light into the world, bring light into my day, to be positive, to do positive things, to learn, to pray, to do mitzvahs. That's the day. I'm getting out of bed. I'm going to take over the world. Then you get involved in a lot of things. But if you get out of in the morning out of bed saying, oy vey, let's go back to sleep, then you have a sleepy day. That's why we have a sleepy day, and everything is gemutzet, and we mutchet through the day. That's the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says this first verse in the Torah, this first 4 verses in the Torah that we just read. Bereshis bara Elokim, in the beginning, everything's in the beginning, every day's a new beginning. This week is Shabbos Bereshis, the beginning of the year. As I said, the Baditcheva said, the way you establish Shabbos Bereshis, that's where it goes all year. So if you have a good Bereshis, if you have a good beginning, a good week, and you're focused on learning in Mitzvah, learning the entire Torah in Mitzvah throughout the entire year, because you want to bring light into the world, you'll be successful. You'll be successful. We'll all be successful. I wish you a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, I'm going to go off of Facebook, so you can ask any question you want. Disagree with me, agree with me, don't agree with me. Until then, see you next Tuesday night at 7:30.
Thank
We'll
you.
do